And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Lately, Bill Maher has sounded less like a cautious commentator and more like someone unafraid to rattle his own side of the aisle. In his latest media clash, his focus turned to Whoopi Goldberg, a figure no stranger to controversy. What followed wasn't a mild exchange of viewpoints. Maher challenged her framing directly, dissecting her position with the kind of dry, pointed humor that has defined his style for decades. The result was a segment that felt charged from the first minute.
Get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
Goldberg entered the discussion with clear determination. Coming off heightened tensions involving Sunny Hostin, the atmosphere already carried a sense of unfinished debate. Goldberg's tone was forceful and confident, signaling she was prepared to counter Maher head-on. Yet conviction alone doesn't guarantee persuasion. As the exchange unfolded, passion occasionally outpaced precision.
People can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
When the focus shifted to Maher's argument about economic anxiety and safety concerns among certain voter groups, Goldberg pivoted toward broader historical themes. She referenced long-standing voting patterns and class narratives, rather than directly addressing his narrower claim. Maher quickly pointed out what he viewed as a sidestep, steering the conversation back to his original premise.
Tear down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
Maher's rebuttal was blunt. He suggested that reframing arguments instead of confronting them has become a common feature of debates on The View. The program's format often prioritizes intensity and rapid exchanges, which can blur the line between spirited dialogue and chaotic crossfire. In that environment, clarity sometimes competes with spectacle.
Criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now.
Lingering over the discussion was the political storm surrounding Joe Biden and his decision to pardon his son, Hunter Biden. For critics, the move complicated earlier messaging about accountability and equal treatment under the law. Supporters viewed it as legally permissible and politically exaggerated by opponents. Regardless of stance, the optics became a flashpoint.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all
No,
of a sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
Goldberg defended the president's actions, arguing that critics were oversimplifying a complex situation. She maintained that evolving circumstances can alter perspective without invalidating prior principles. Maher countered by referencing earlier public statements that seemed, in his interpretation, difficult to reconcile with the pardon. The disagreement centered not only on policy, but on consistency.
It was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
As the segment continued, the reactions around the table reflected the tension. Some appeared surprised by the sharpness of the back and forth. Others seemed cautious about entering the fray. At one point, the explanation that political positions can shift under pressure felt uneasy in the room. While flexibility can signal growth, Abrupt timing can invite skepticism.
I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that
You're
go out.
mis-
They're
don't-
the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Listen.
They don't have to.
The broader theme Maher emphasized was what he perceives as selective outrage within parts of progressive politics. He argued that public condemnation often varies depending on affiliation. Whether that assessment is fair remains debated, but the perception itself has traction among certain voters. Maher framed it as a credibility issue rather than an ideological one.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit.
His core argument was straightforward. Principles gain strength only when applied consistently. If fairness is invoked selectively, public trust erodes. In Maher's view, controversies like the Hunter Biden pardon symbolize a larger problem, one in which messaging and action appear misaligned. Trust, he suggested, is fragile once strained.